Confession. In my entire adult life, I've never been as excited about something, some huge development in the world, as I am right now, in a positive way. But I've also never been as terrified about something as I am right now about some new development in the world. I'm talking, of course, about ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence program, and it's only one of a whole slew of programs, websites, technologies out there that use generative artificial intelligence to gather data and create new stuff. Now, if you haven't been listening to or hearing about ChatGPT, it's time to wake up. There have been a lot of trends in my adult lifetime: cryptocurrency, blockchain, Y2K, the iPhone, the internet, browsers. This, I think, is actually going to be the biggest. I could be wrong. It could be that another year people say, oh, this is just spewing out racist nonsense, so let's have the government ban it. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but you never really know. It is absolutely mind-boggling to me, all of the things that just this current low-level version of ChatGPT can do. And it's a small taste of what's to come. So here's what excites me about so much. Anyone who's a creator, anyone who's an innovator, there's so many opportunities out there to expand your expertise, to expand your concepts, expand your way of helping. I mean, we're not that far away. In fact, some technology allows it to exist already. I could take every one of my courses, have it translated into every language in the world. A different, not ChatGPT, but another program could then take my own voice and dub it into that language so I appear to be speaking. Another technology could then move my lips to make it appear as though I'm actually stating those words, so it wouldn't even look dubbed. That's the world we're living in. So I've got a couple hundred courses in theory. I could have 10,000 courses like that once this technology gets going. So that's incredibly exciting to think about all the different opportunities I have with my own business. On the other hand, it's incredibly terrifying to me because one of the main platforms I'm on could simply decide, well, what do we need TJ for? Let's just punch in a few keys to an artificial intelligence program and say, create public speaking and media training courses like TJ and three other folks, and make it better and localize all the examples to people in that country. And let's not pay instructors anymore. Let's just keep all the money ourselves. So I'm terrified that artificial intelligence may completely destroy the demand, or really the need for a supply of my courses. I'm also terrified that it could destroy the demand because there are going to be millions of communication workers, public relations, marketing, copywriting people, where I'm convinced their jobs are going to be obsolete. And if a large company has a 300-person marketing department, within the next year and a half, maybe in the next 6 months, the head of that department is going to get a directive saying, fire 90% of your staff, and the other 10% can be 1,000 times more productive using ChatGPT or some other technology like that. So if half the world loses their job, there's not going to be much of a need from a lot of employees for my courses. So I personally am worried that this could destroy not only the supply side, course companies that want my stuff, but the demand side from students. And then I'm irrelevant and unemployed. How is this going to affect your business? If you're not thinking about that, you are asleep. I think we are at a time in history where it's the difference between there not being a steam engine and a steam engine, where there not being a printing press and people had to hire priests to write things out with a quill and ink, versus printing press times. It's like the difference between a company that refused to use a personal computer in the 70s, no big deal, to one in the 80s that refused to use it, and they went bankrupt. This has tremendous, tremendous implications for every single industry. I don't know where it's going. All I know is I'm excited and I'm terrified, and I'm trying to do everything I can to be a part of this wave on the right side of it. I'm convinced it's a tsunami. It's coming. If you ride the wave the right way, it could be tremendously beneficial. If you don't, you could be destroyed. Now, those of you who know me know I'm not a huge techie. I don't know what a megapixel is or a gig or the technical terms, but I'm trying to really figure out how to harness this, in part by spending a lot of time in ChatGPT on a daily basis, in part by producing and working with other experts who know more than I do about ChatGPT. Now, you're going to see in the description below and in the newsletter below, if you're receiving this in the newsletter, a whole bunch of new courses on ChatGPT that I've produced with other experts, people who know more than I do. All of these courses could be irrelevant a year from now, 6 months from now, maybe 3 weeks from now. But for right now, I know they're valuable. They're getting views and positive ratings by tens of thousands of people in more than 150 countries. So take a look at the courses. I've got 8 courses on ChatGPT I've published in the last 2 weeks. By the time you see this, or by the end of the week, I may have another 8, because I'm frantically trying to get on the right side of this. I want to figure out how I can make this work for me, my clients, my students, my friends and family. And I want to make sure I don't get obliterated. The founder of OpenAI, Sam Altman, and that's the company that created ChatGPT, predicted 2 years ago that we are going to be entering an era of Moore's Law for everything. Moore's Law applied to semiconductors, where every 2 years the capabilities doubled and the price decreased by 50%. And that has happened more or less for decades with semiconductors. He's predicting it happens with things like healthcare, housing, so many other services because of the power of artificial intelligence. It is going to radically, radically transform society. Could be in a positive way overall, could be profoundly negative. I don't know. I'm convinced it's going to be profoundly positive for at least some people. I hope for everyone. I'm doing everything I can to prepare. If you have suggestions on ways of partnering with me for more online courses, if you have needs for doing this as it relates to ChatGPT, please let me know. There's a news story that came out in the last several days about this being a code red situation at Google. The founders of Google have come back essentially out of retirement because they're in a panic that ChatGPT could make Google irrelevant, could destroy their business, could make their cash cow end. Well, I don't agree that it's code red for Google. I think it's code red for everyone. If you're a part of the economy, if you make money, if you ever want to make money, it is code red time. It's time to roll up your sleeves, think of this, experiment with it, try to figure it out. Look at what other people are doing. You might look at what I'm doing, the courses I've published, and think they're incredibly off base, but you got a better way. Well, I'd urge you, follow that better way. But whatever you do, I think that if you sit back and relax and say, oh, this is another fad, that you're going to regret it. I hope not, and I certainly do not have a crystal ball. I don't know the future. But this really, really feels big. So I urge you, do what you can to experiment, learn, be a part of this wave. Don't wait for it to pass you by.